Welcome back. Thank you for staying with Republic TV. It's your destination for the military level talks where we'll get you all the latest. We're getting in some breaking news right now where a United States think tank has said that the current Sino-India border crisis has just revealed that China has little respect for India's long-standing efforts to freeze status quo along its frontiers. Let me go across to our editor Niranjan for the latest. Once again, Niranjan, there's some amount of pressure that has been building on China as far as the United States of America is concerned, and the kind of salvos that are being fired one after the other, it is only essentially making it difficult for Chinese administration.
Absolutely, and just now, we've received some more breaking news of what the Chinese mouthpiece has said just hours before the talks were to take place. We'll go to that next. The details of that we're just getting in, so we'll go to that breaking next. But right now, according to a think tank and a lot of U.S. think tanks, especially, of course, historically they've always had an anti-China position. But on this particular breaking that we're getting in, China has little respect. This is, the overall takeaway. China has little respect for India's long-standing efforts to freeze status quo, says a U.S. think tank. Now, the current Sino-India border crisis has revealed that China has little respect for India's long-standing efforts to freeze the status, is what a top observer on South Asia has claimed. Now this comes on the back of, America's ongoing battle with China, and especially their position taken on the accountability for the COVID-19 crisis. And China, and you just heard Donald Trump sometime back when we played out that small report saying that, it is a Chinese virus. So he's stuck to that. And he, of course, has been threatening the WHO, which he believes has taken a pro-China position completely. And China, of course, also has in return tried to take, tried to cozy up to the WHO, given that their entire international implication, they don't want basically to be indicted by the probe that India included had asked for. So, of course, China is very wary because that probe has been approved by the WHO, and India's the WHO chair now. And I'd like to go across to Abhishek as well, and Abhishek will be able to give us some more perspective. Abhishek, even as more and more US think tanks are echoing what Donald Trump feels and what many other countries feel, including India, about the accountability for the virus, what do you make of all these developments coming in this morning, especially from the US ahead of the talks?
Well, remember, President Donald Trump has been the first one to take on China on the virus issue, taking it head on. He is the first global leader perhaps to call it a Chinese virus and has persisted with that line and attack on the Chinese beginning April. Apart from that, in the context of what is happening between India and China, we had Alice Wells, who is in the State Department and responsible for South Asia, who said that whatever China is doing goes beyond rhetoric and it is actually an act of aggression. So, the United States is clear. They have even gone on to offer mediation in the direct talks that Prime Minister Modi had with President Trump, as also between Mark Esper, the Defense Secretary, and his Indian counterpart, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh. Of course, we have said we don't want it. But then, irrespective of what America is saying, China feels like a cornered cat on the issue of COVID. Since you mentioned, everyone wants to pin the responsibility, and everyone understands that it goes to China. We saw how China stood isolated in the World Health Assembly, and the resolution that was passed, China had to willingly join it and be seen to be with the rest of the world. But fact of the matter is that they are isolated. They are not being live in the present context. And that is why perhaps this anxiety leading to these kind of actions.
Well, thank you very much, Abhishek. We'll also bring in our guest in a short while from now. And also there is a lot of breaking news coming in. Interesting what the Chinese mouthpiece is essentially talking about, the military level talk just before it's about to begin, the kind of information that's come in from the Chinese mouthpiece. We'll discuss on this after this short break.